Hello everyone, this is Tejashwini Gowda. In today's classes, let's try to understand about the concept of your uh, RFA, that is rent-free accommodation, that is going to be from the head income from salaries. It's going to be a quick revision for that matter. So first of all, rent-free accommodation, it's a perquisite. That is you going and staying in a premises, in a rented premises, and your employer giving you certain compensation for you staying over there in the form of allowance. It's called as house rent allowance. That concept is already been done, and the video is also there in the YouTube. If you want the notes and any information, that will be there in my Telegram channel, you can join over there. If you're staying in a rented premises, the employer giving money to you as an allowance is called as house rent allowance, or the employer being a kind hearted person giving you the flat only for you to stay. That accommodation, whatever the purpose at which the employer benefit which the employer is providing, will be called as rent free accommodation. Okay? Now, rent free accommodation, now what I'm speaking is an unfurnished accommodation. It is given for government employee. Remember, whatever the license fee which is determined by the government will be considered as the rent-free accommodation perquisite provided by the government to the government employee. Now comes the point with regarding to the other employee. Okay, Papa, this poor fellow, if he is getting the rent-free accommodation from the employer side, and the employer can do two things. That is, he can either own the building and give it for the employee to stay, or either he can rent it and the employer can give the flat to his employee. He can do either one thing. He can either own it or either he can rent it out. If he's owning, in case if it is owned by the employer, remember 5%, 7.5% and 10% of the salary is what being considered for the purpose of your RFE. If I'm speaking 5, 7.5, 10 of your salary, let's try to understand one by one. Okay. When are you going to consider 5% if it is less than 15 lakh wherever the premises in which you are staying in, that accommodation wherever is provided, if that is the place where within that radius for that matter, if it is less than 15 lakh population, then 5% is what you're going to consider. If it is more than 15 but less than or equal to 40, it is going to be 7.5. If it is more than 40 lakh, then it is going to be 10% to be the criteria. Okay, you are going to consider 5, 7.5 and 10 based on the population or the place in which you are staying. If it is something, if it is given in the question that is with regarding to population, please do consider. If nothing given in the question, you can assume it is going to be population greater than 40 lakh. And also if it is a metro city information which is provided, as per income tax, the metro city is going to be Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata. If you're staying in these metro cities, it is by default, it is assumed that is, it is going to be 40 lakh. Population shall be more than 40 lakh, then you're going to consider 10%. It depends on the questions being asked. Okay. So now, 10% of the salary is what I call. Salary for the purpose of RFE shall be basic plus DA plus all taxable allowances. Remember, I did not write all allowances. It is all taxable allowances plus bonus plus commission. You're going to add everything for the purpose of salary definition, and then you're going to consider 5%, 7.5% or the 10% of the salary as it is owned by the employer. Clear? Now, if it is rented by the employer, remember lower of the following is going to be exempted. If it is rented, actual amount or 10% of the salary. Suppose if the employer has paid some 3 lakh rupees as the actual rent. Suppose let's consider 10% of the salary is 2.5 lakh. Lower of the following is not exempted over here. Lower of the following will be a taxable amount. Taxable amount. The lower of the following, that is 2.5 lakh, will be considered as your taxable amount in case of your rent-free accommodation. Clear? Remember, as reduced by the rent paid by employee is what I mean. It means as it is as reduced or rent paid by employee means. Suppose, first of all, what is meant by perquisite, people? Perquisite is something, the benefit which you are getting. The benefit which you are getting. If that is the case, suppose you are getting benefit of 4 lakh, you are paying out of your pocket 1 lakh rupees. So ultimately, what is the net benefit that you're going to get? The net benefit which you're getting is 3 lakh, and this 3 lakh is nothing but you are a taxable perquisite for that matter. Well, anything moving out of your pocket is cost, no? So you have to always consider the net benefit which you are getting for the purpose of calculating in your purpose. Okay. So now if the 3 lakh rupees, suppose let's consider if it is owned 10% of the salary, whatever being considered, 4 lakh rupees is the point. 1 lakh rupee you are paying out of your pocket being an employee, your net taxable amount shall be 3 lakh. Okay. The same point goes for all the three situations. This is in case of unfurnished. If I'm speaking about the furnished, that is the furniture. In this case, if the furniture is owned by employer, my taxable amount shall be 10% of the cost of that actual cost of that particular furniture which is owned by employer. If not, if it is hired by employer, then 10%, that is higher charges. Whatever the employer paying rent for that furniture will be considered as your higher charges. That will be your taxable amount. This is in case of your RFA.